Thanks for joining us. I'm Tiffany Chan with the WBZ News Update. Our top stories. The MBTA has lifted some speed restrictions after inspections uncovered track defects on the rails. Around 5:30 last night, the MBTA ordered a speed restriction to 10 to 25 miles per hour on the orange, red, blue, and green lines. Tests were done last month using equipment that can inspect the tracks for defects not visible to the naked eye. And when the Department of Utilities conducted an inspection earlier this week, they asked for documentation related to those inspections, but there was an issue with those documents. T officials say they are investigating. Police are offering a $25,000 reward for information that will lead to an arrest of a suspect they say robbed a mail carrier in Randolph. Here are the photos. Postal inspectors released these photos of the suspect. The attack happened Wednesday afternoon at around 2 p.m. on Canton Street. The letter carrier was not hurt, and we're told the suspect is a black man who is about 5 feet 7 inches tall. He was wearing a black puffy jacket and a black hoodie with white sneakers. A man from Maine has been arrested for his alleged role in a murder-for-hire scheme. Federal agents arrested 41-year-old Hyun-Kook Korsiak on several charges, including 1 count of murder to hire and possession of a firearm following a felony conviction. Authorities say he agreed to the murder for hire of a businessman in New York City for $50,000. But what he didn't know was he plotted the scheme with an undercover FBI agent. We're told he asked the agent for firearms and a latex mask to hide his identity while committing the crime. He was taken into custody on Wednesday when he traveled from Maine to New York to carry out the crime. The weekend is here and the sun is out this Friday. Let's get a check of the forecast with Zach Green.
No complaints in the weather department, no complaints across all of southern New England. A really beautiful way to wrap up the week, and honestly, we've been waiting on this one. Finally, outside of the wind chill conversation, there's a little bit of a breeze, 5 to 10 miles per hour, but a welcome wind out of the west as we are already landing in the low and mid 40s across the board. A far cry from where we sat earlier this morning, with the majority of the region, if not nearly everyone, was sitting down in the 20s. So we can clearly see the influence of that stronger sun angle, and that is going to play a pivotal role in the precipitation that's going to be arriving in the next 2 events. As of now, the snow that's on the doorstep for this evening is still well out of our way. You notice the swirl that's kind of making its way towards the eastern side of the Great Lakes and bringing us some snow over into Pennsylvania and southern New York State, rain over into the mid-Atlantic. We will sort of be back and forth within the different types of precipitation as we move from Friday night into Saturday morning. So we'll stop it here at 9 o'clock. We're at least getting introduced with some of that activity on the western side of the Quabbin. Not a lot going on for central and eastern Massachusetts, so your Friday night dinner plans are okay. Anything that's happening through the afternoon's doing just fine. Waking up tomorrow morning, however, there's going to be a bit of a difference. You notice the temperature spread. For interior locations, we're down below the freezing mark. Same scenario over into southern New Hampshire. That's going to be the northern side of the precipitation field. So the intensity kind of lacking as we get up into Manchester, and just really nothing going on towards ski country. But a pretty good thump to be along the Pike and areas to the south. Once we make our way closer to midday, a lot of this is going to be breaking apart. So there isn't a huge hassle for the afternoon. And with the temperature still holding between about 37 and 40 degrees to the southeastern side of the state, it's suggesting snow. I'm thinking that's turning more wet rather than white. So yes, there will be some light accumulation, if not some scattered coatings for grassier surfaces rather than the pavement. If you're thinking of travel headaches, tomorrow's going to be the one. However, we're not going to be tapping into a whole lot towards ski country, so the slope's not getting the natural stuff. By Sunday, though, we're looking at more of a bluebird day. So there is some improvement in sight as we move into the second half of the weekend. Officially kicking off daylight saving time as well, so you want to set your clocks ahead. I know your phone's going to automatically do it for you, but the sunset time is going to be a little different, pushing it back now to 6:47 p.m. By the end of the month, we'll be back after 7 o'clock. All eyes are going to be turning to the next system arriving for next week. Monday, generally spared. We're starting to pull the timeline more to a Tuesday and Wednesday. And this potent wave of low pressure as developing out of the mid-Atlantic is really going to take a grip on southern New England, but there is a difference in the style of precipitation depending on the final track. If it's a little farther to the west, that's going to keep the snow chances well off to our north and west. It'll be mainly rain here in southern New England. Farther to the east, closer to what's known as the benchmark, you got a better shot of seeing accumulated snow, and if that is the likely scenario, we could be getting some higher accumulation values than we've seen in past systems. Still, we are discussing March, not January January or February snow. So the thump and the real intense accumulation values likely not going to be lining up. Nonetheless, we still want to put some alert days as big travel headaches are expected for Tuesday and Wednesday. The showers will taper off in the middle of the week. It's Thursday that we completely clear things out. We'll melt off too as we're near 45 degrees.
All right, thank you, Zach. I'm Tiffany Chan. This has been a WBZ News Update.